Mr. Johns. Welcome to another episode of Non-Lego Modular Buildings. Losing my voice here, having some issues with my background popping in and out and my grainy video, but I'm here. So, not everything's going perfectly, but that's life. And so here we are looking at non-Lego modular buildings. Now, I started the video series after I had built most of them, and that was really not the best decision, but I was into building then and not necessarily doing YouTube videos. But I do want to continue the series, and I will highlight every building eventually, even though many of them have been built. So if you like to build, you like Legos, this whole series is amazing. Most people cannot afford them, especially if you don't have a job. Even if you have a job, they're so expensive. And so I've gone with the non-Lego versions, which I have no problem with, and I've talked about that before. What is a modular building? Well, they're kind of an advanced, they call them adult level creator series kits. They usually have over 2,000 pieces designed for builders 16 and up, and they can all attach to each other. And the whole thing is they were released one per year, except for with one exception, which we're going to talk about today. Lighting is the key for me. It just brings the whole thing to life, and I use a company called Brick Loot. They seem to be the cheapest, and I no longer have to have battery power for every single building. They now have USB power blocks that you can plug into the wall and plug multiple buildings into that, which is a game changer. So huge. What makes these modular? Well, you're supposed to be able to interchange the floors, but that's not always the case. You can't just take the third floor and put it on the second floor, etc. But by modular, it mostly means you can move them around. They snap together. You can put one building next to any other building, and they all have little snap studs on the sides. So by that account, they are modular. They all have a one stud wide light gray tiled curb and a dark gray tiled sidewalk. They all have the standard light post out front, and there are 7 studs between the street and the building, and that's key. So if you're setting up a street scene, you want that to all be consistent. So here is the list up to as of this date of all the Lego modulars, and if you'll see here, they all come out one per year, except the one we're going to talk about today, which is called Market Street. Is it really a modular? And that is kind of a controversy in the Lego modular groups around, and I'm going to share my opinion here today. But in 2007, you can see Cafe Corner and Market Street came out, and then one per year after that. And I have just about all of these up to 2020, so I still have yet to collect Bookshop, Police Station, Boutique Hotel, and the Jazz Club, but the rest of them I have. So let's take a look at Market Street. Now, first of all, why did it come out the same year as another? Well, this was the first year of modulars, right? So no one really knew that Lego was going to put out one per year. So when one modular came out, which everybody loved, Cafe Corner, and then this one came out that looked like a modular, but it wasn't. It was in a different box. And it was designed by a Lego fan, not a Lego designer. There was some confusion. So it has 1,236 pieces, so it's the smallest. It was designed by a fan. It has 4 floors, while all the others have 3. And on a positive note, well, on another positive note, all the faces were more detailed than just a simple dot dot and a smiley. So that was a step in the right direction. All the floors are square, and the price was low. It was meant to bring beginners into the modular building hobby. And now here's my answer right here. I argue that this is not a true modular. There's just a lot of things going against it. My main thing is this. Lego decided to put out one modular per year, which they did with all the same graphics and boxes, etc. Market Street came in a separate series called Lego Factory, and it was a whole separate kind of thing. And the original price $89.99. Today these things go from $652 used. I just looked, at the cheapest to 2,545 average. So I averaged all the ones on YouTube and Amazon that are still new in the box, $2,545. So now, what was Lego Factory? Well, it allowed fans to use a digital design software called the Lego Digital Designer, and you could snap together pieces in any order and make your own builds, and then you could simply make an inventory of the parts and order them, and then build your creation, which was very, very cool. The rumor is that Market Street was kind of the example of how to use that, and they chose this person's design as an example for this new factory series. The name was changed the following year to Lego Ideas, and the same thing could be done. While this software was available in 2004, it has been phased out, and now there's something called Bricklink Studio, and it's the exact same thing, just updated, where you can build, and buy anything. Design, buy, and build anything you can imagine. So now my Market Street, because it's a non-Lego kit, and I didn't pay $2,400 for it. I bought it at bigbrickstore.com for $115, and then the light kit came from Brickloot for $35.49, and there's my total right there, $150.49 for the entire kit. Now it's a super easy build, really lacks a whole lot of details or challenge. No interior and really not much room for interior. I have seen some people design some things that could be modified. And honestly, this was the first Lego build that I didn't really love. I was happy when it was done. There were no fun surprises that you come to expect. There were really no challenging steps. And I didn't really stand back and just look at it with awe in the end. Although it does look cool, especially with the lights on. But it's just not that amazing sense of wonder that you get after you build one of these. So here are the three figures with the more detailed faces, and by that I mean literally they were just two dots and a smile on every face until this one. And so just the bigger eyeballs and the eyelashes, not the eyelashes, the eyebrows and the glasses, and the little smirk on this figure over here were a little bit different. Now these are all pretty generic, and that was kind of the point, right? These guys could be selling something as a shop owner, or they could just be a customer. And the whole point of this, I had to remind myself over and over again as I was a little discouraged with it, was the whole point that this was designed to show you that you could add on and create. Now, that's really, I have found out that that's not my style. I don't sit just with boxes of miscellaneous Legos and just build, and maybe someday I will. I like to follow directions, and I like to build exact. I like to follow directions. And so here I am building the open air market part of this. I'm very familiar with this layout. It's very similar to other modulars. And so at some point, I guess the designer decided he wanted to keep it consistent. And that maybe he was a fan of the Cafe Corner, and maybe that's what he was showing, was that, hey, you could build your own modulars as well. Now, I'm a little thrown off by this already. There's 2 boxes of vegetables and fruit, and that's it. And the market never gets filled up with anything else. It's very basic. And so also I'm a little confused at why there's a gate on the right and there's an arch on the left, and the directions show you put the box of vegetables right in front of the arch. And I'm not really sure why that is. This part was pretty interesting, all these details on over the arch, but these little rubbery plastic pieces are very soft, and I know these are non-Lego pieces, and typically the non-Lego brands compete pretty well, pretty evenly with Lego, but these parts did not snap together or stay together very well, and you can see my little bottle of Gorilla Glue in the background there. That's my trick. These are not going to come back apart ever, and so even with glue, these things did not want to stay together. So that was one of my first critiques of this kit. Oh, another critique was that the gate, this right gate, bumps into this flag, this sign, which that makes no sense. Now, if this would have been a Lego design, that would not have been the case. Lego is meticulous with their designing. Like everything has to be in a specific location, and it has to make sense. And so the fact that this box of vegetables is blocking this archway makes no sense. There is room to walk past it, but I think maybe it should be turned sideways, maybe. But then it kind of blocks the sidewalk. So I'm not really sure. And then this gate does not close because of this sign. So another critique. So here's the crawl space. Now I didn't know what this was when I started building it, and I've mentioned this in the past. Part of the fun of building Lego is that if you don't look ahead and look at what everything looks like, you are discovering as you build. Now this one immediately, I'm like, well, wait a minute. The windows are on the floor. How small are my people? It turns out this is a crawl space or a basement. People couldn't even fit in there, and I don't really know what the purpose of that is. Because you can't fit anything down in there. There is windows, partially blocked by stairs, which is weird too. So, this guy got a lot of kudos, and I do not want to badmouth him. He passed away from cancer in 2007, right before this was released. So there's a sad story behind it. And online, you'll see people just give nothing but kudos to this design and how amazing it is. I disagree. That's my opinion. So here's the exciting interior of the first floor. Literally a stairway. So I like that there's a couple textured grooved pieces here that breaks up the boring gray just a little bit. Those are spread around in a few places. But otherwise, I mean, again, I had to remind myself this kit was designed for you to make this into a whatever this space could be, which is, I get it, there's a purpose for that. So the cellar is done, and the stairs out front are done, and then this is the first floor, which I had no idea what it would be. It's definitely blue. Couldn't be more simple than this. Square room, hole in the floor for the stairs, and then the landing for the next set of stairs going up. And there's the complete interior. I do like the touch on the back wall. That kind of looks like maybe some bricked up windows, just to break up the monotony of so much blue. A little awning on the front. I had a hard time getting those straight, but they snap on okay. And then there's 4 opening windows, which I thought was pretty cool. So the first shop here appears to be a croissant shop or restaurant. The only hint of that is that there's a croissant hanging on a post. So there's no signs, and I'm, again, pretty sure it's because it's you who's supposed to be deciding what this is. The floors and the roofs are all the same. Every single one, except for the very top. So I did, 3 of these. 4 light gray rectangles supported by long 2x. Everyone the same. Level 3, what's it going to be? A nice big glass door, 2 big opening windows, and more blue. At least it's the lighter blue, so it's a different color. I do like these little awning pieces that snap together. Not a lot of challenge, but it does add some variation, which is kind of nice. So at the bottom, we've got gray cellar, crawl space. We've got the dark blue croissants shop. And then the third shop is, I don't know, can you even get there? I guess you have to go through the croissant shop to go up to the next level, which maybe it's an apartment, but you have to go through the croissant shop to get there. I think a Lego modular would have a back stairway, like an escape stairway, or a different entrance. And then the 4th and top floor finally looks different. It's not your basic square, which I was getting kind of excited about. So here's this little balcony with a swiveling yellow chair and a door, which is kind of cool. And then the other side, the roof, it couldn't just be flat. I mean, it could have. I'm glad that he decided not to go that route. So this was pretty much the only challenge of the build, was especially because I was adding some lighting, and so I had to figure out where to put the lights and how to run the wires so you don't see them. But getting the pyramid shape together was relatively fun. So here's the dude on the back. He's a grumpy man looking down over Market Street with some dissatisfaction of the whole build. That's kind of how I felt. I'm like, yeah, this one's not great. I like this view, this lion's head on one end, pretty cool, and I do like the yellow and tan tiles going up along the top. So I had this guy standing here on the balcony at first, but then I realized the neighbors were going to complain because he's pretty scary looking. So I took him off. Here's the parts of the Brickloot lighting kit, that comes for this. These are all the pieces you get. You can see basically one per floor, and then you've got the lamppost that goes out front. And this is the thing that I love about Brickloot, is this USB plug goes to all these lights, and you can just plug that into a USB bank, which is plugged in, so no batteries required. So once you have the lighting, even though there's no interior, this is what it looks like with a shopper going in, a hungry shopper looking for a croissant, which is pretty cool. This is the very vacant and boring outdoor market. Looks like a parking space to me, like a underground parking garage. So this is out front with the dude with the green overalls standing in front of the closed gates, waiting for customers, I suppose. And then this is what it looks like on the left without the open air market, and then spun around. I snapped that into the main building, and so we've got the open air market, the cellar, the croissant shop, the whatever apartment, I guess, and then the upstairs apartment. I don't think these would be shops. I still think it's weird. Like, to get to the fourth floor apartment, you have to go through the croissant shop and the second floor apartment, third floor apartment. Is that second? Oh, there's only 3 floors, I guess. Cellar, first, second, third. They call it a 4-story building, but the cellar is like a half. But you have to go through, this guy that lives on the very, very top in this expensive apartment up here, he has to go through the croissant shop and say, pardon me, excuse me, as he goes through this other person's apartment to get to his own, which I thought is weird. So that is my review of Market Street. If you can get, I wouldn't spend $2,500 on this. If you're a hardcore collector, then okay. But if you just want to build it, try to find it online for cheap. I have found it since I bought this one for as low as $60 at other places, which I'm researching right now. So anyway, it's a build. It's done. I want to build something else now. It will go into my city, and I'll have a picture of that later so you can see how it looks with everybody else, all the other buildings. So I'll catch you next time. For now, Mr. Johns is out.